All right, folks. It's me, Mr. Rocco. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll keep this relatively short. But I'm feeling all right. Still, obviously, getting over it. But hope you guys can hear me. Hope you guys are doing well. Staying safe. But ultimately, kind of want to start something new. We'll take it slowly, but first, I want to start by reviewing because so far all we've done is we've solved systems using graphing, solving a system of equations using graphing. And so we'll take a look at that, and then how can we solve it another way? What would be another way to solve it that you might find a little easier than graphing? So we'll review graphing, start with that. Now, excuse me. Using graphing, both of your equations need to look like this. So, from the activity yesterday, I did want to review this a little bit because the scores looked pretty alright. They could have been better, but they were alright. Now, those of you who were in school and didn't finish your big ideas or do the activity that I asked you to do on quizzes, not quite sure what you did. You got a 0. But there were a couple of you, so just please make sure you're trying to make an effort to do your work. Most of you guys are good, but a little surprised. There was more than one person who didn't do a thing. Ultimately, for graphing, if it's set up like this, we got our y-intercept, we got our slope, the 5 is our y-intercept. I'm going to do my best to graph this. And the slope is 1. So I'll write it like this. Change in y is 1. That means it is positive, so I go up 1. And I go over to the right 1. So that's my slope for this one. Up 1 over 1. Plot a point. Up 1 over 1. Plot a point. Something like this. And I'll use my line tool then. Kind of go like that. Now, that's not perfect, but see if I can straighten it out a little bit. It's a little bit better. Okay, so the slope there for that one is 1 over 1. All right, now this one, need to do a little rearranging here. That's going to be solve this. Go like this. Let's get y by itself. Can't really find the y-intercept or the slope until we take care of this. Y by 2. Y by 2. Move this out of the way. Then we got y. Oops. Equals negative x plus 5. Very similar situation. Starting at 5 again. And then the slope this time is negative 1. So it'd be negative 1 over 1. So down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Now, we already kind of found where they meet. Interestingly enough, they meet at the y-intercept. But there you go. That's what we wanted. We wanted to find where they meet. We graphed them. In red, I'll circle it right there. So the 0.05 is where they meet. All right, so that's kind of what you want to do. If it's already in y equals form, that's slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. We have a slope. We have an intercept. There you go. We have the y-intercept of 5 and the slope of 1. And that's how I got the first one. And then the other one we had to do a little rearranging, but I found the y-intercept to be the same and the slope to be opposite. And we graphed it. So hopefully that's a good review there. Let's do one more like that. And look, they're both already y equals, which is super nice, because then for this one, starting at 1, 1 is the y-intercept. All right, the slope is 3 over 4. It's already in fraction form, so that's nice. The change in y is 3. It's positive, so we'll go up 3 and to the right 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. I'll continue that pattern for a little bit. Oops. Up 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let me grab my line tool here. You just grab your ruler. And I'll go like that. Straighten it out a little bit and we'll be good to go. All right. In green, I'll do this one. 3 is my y-intercept right there. And it's 1 over 4, so up 1 over 4. Looks like I found it right there. 1 over 4. Grab my line tool. Not perfect, but I will adjust. There you go. The point is 4, 4. Oops. 4, 4 is the solution. So to solve a system with graphing, graph both lines, find where they meet. It's the point. Where they touch or intersect. Now, let's focus on these two systems specifically and check, is there a way we can solve this without graphing? So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of erasing here. I don't know why that 5 randomly showed up. That's interesting. Let's delete this. Delete this. And let's keep the answer. Oh, great. All right, let's keep the answer as kind of a reminder of what ultimately we want to find. Because here's the deal. Can we do this using like math? Can we use these equations and maybe set them equal to each other somehow? And the answer to that question is yes, obviously. That's why this video is still going on. And what we're going to do is we're going to set these equal to each other. Now, both of these equations have 2 variables. That makes solving hard, especially if you only took 1, it'd be impossible. But now that we have 2, what we want to do is we want to set them equal to each other, and we also want to get it so we can actually solve for a variable. As in, create an equation with 1 variable, or 1 type of variable. And if you notice, they both say y equals. Don't know what happened there, that was weird. They both say y equals. So think about it this way. If I write this, and this one also says y equals, well then what I could do is, now this is a method called substitution, and we're going to get more into it. There are different ways to use substitution, but if this one says y equals 3 over 4x plus 1, well that means that we could just take this and plug it in for y. Think about it this way. Let me scribble this stuff out. If I said y equals 2, where would you put this 2 into this equation? Well, you put it in for y, right? Because it says y equals 2. So everywhere you see a y, you can put a 2. Now, let's use that same logic for this. It says y equals 3 over 4 plus x. So what you can do is make it 3 over 4x plus 1. Set them equal to each other. Now look at what we have here. We have an equation set equal, because we want to find where they're equal, and it's all in 1 variable. That variable is x. So let's solve this. All right. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take everything times 4. Get rid of these fractions. Reason I know to do that, the denominator is 4. So as long as I multiply times whatever's in the numerator or denominator, that'll cancel. So this 4 would cancel with this 4 and this 4. You still need to multiply, but it would be 3x plus 4. So when I multiply the 4 times this, they cancel. Multiply the 4 times 1. Multiply the 4 here, it cancels. Multiply the 4 here, you get 12. And solve. That's not the only way to solve it, but I mean, I like to get rid of the fractions first. I would do the same thing, but we kind of have to go back to some solving equation skills. Now, it's been a while, so we'll work on it. But ultimately, our answer should be 4, right? There it is. X equals 4. Now, we do need to find... I don't know what the heck's happening here. Weird stuff's happening. The answer was 4, 4. So we need to find the other variable. We need to find y. So from here, what we do is we take one of our equations. Doesn't matter which one. Our originals. Plug this in for x. Sorry for the sloppy writing, folks. But ultimately, there it is. 4, 4. So we can find the point where these things meet without graphing. Set them equal to each other, solve the equation for one of the variables, plug it in to find the second one. This is called substitution. There are multiple ways to do substitution. This is one of them. All right, let's take a look at this one. We know the answer is 0, 5. So keep that in mind as we go through. This should be an easy one to solve. This should be pretty quick. And actually, for now there is a way to solve this with substitution. Another way without rearranging, but for now, let's stick with this. All right. And this is possible, so if you like this, you can definitely do it. Now, like I said, there's a way to solve without rearranging, but let's go with the rearranged version. So we're just going to take these two things, and we're going to solve. We know the answer is 0, 5. Well, let's find it. So using these two things, using what we just learned, you're going to take one side of the equation, set it equal to the other one. They're both y equals. All right. Since it says y equals, you can plug one into the other. Everything's in terms of x. Solve the equation. X equals 0. That makes sense. We said 0, 5 was the answer when we graphed. You found the x. Now you have to find the y. Pick one of your equations. This one's going to be really easy because you're just going to plug in 0 for x. There you go. It's always nice to write it as a point to kind of close it out. But we even said the answer is 0, 5. There it is. So, get the worksheet from whoever was nice enough to fill in. Do the problems. Have a nice day.